Welcome back to the Tales of St. Gwen. Today, Scully takes Gwen to a ball. And so to begin. This is embarrassing. I could hear Tim laugh as I adjusted the long dress that hugged my body in ways I wasn't comfortable with. I had laughed when Scully had shown up that morning with the dress, telling me to wear it. Now I was standing in front of a mirror with the dress on and feeling exposed. "Why am I attending this ball with you?" I asked Scully, who walked in wearing a tux. "Take Tim." "Tim would not be as much help in rooting out cultists that will be in the ball." "You can't possibly know that," I said, crossing my arms. "He could stand at the side and observe them." "This is not a request open to interpretation," Scully said. "Now, where are your heels?" I sputtered as Tim laughed out again, adding insult to injury. We took a shuttle from the ship that flew down to the lush planet below, getting out to only enter the ballroom. I had never seen such decorations elegantly placed around the columned room, dancers already in the middle. "So what are we looking for?" I asked Scully as we walked around the dance floor to the opposite side of the entrance. "I have it on good faith that cultists will be attending this party. We need to find them before they can massacre the room." "Which cult are we looking for?" "Blood cult." I looked over at Scully, who only nodded. He had been tracking this cult for some time, had even sent me to be a nanny when he had a possible lead, but they were elusive and hard to find. "I will keep my eyes open," I said, now moving away from Scully. As I walked, I noticed the room seemed to move as one. The dancers and spectators moved with almost time precision, making me halt at the door. I could have laughed when the Space Marines walked in, all wearing tuxes and clearly more out of place than I was. I recognized them as the Death Watch Marines that had been called upon only a few months earlier. They split off into two groups, the captain going to find Scully, and their chaplain walking towards me. "It is a rare sight to see an Adeptus Sororitas out of her armor. You look uncomfortable." "It's bad enough Scully forces me into a dress, and then add insult, he made me wear these." I motioned to the heels on my feet. "I can barely walk in these. How does he expect me to fight in them?" "You wear platform boots with your armor. How is this any different?" "My boots have a purpose and support my feet while I battle. These have no purpose. Think of them like weapons, and perhaps you will see use of them." Scully appeared at my side now, regarding the chaplain briefly. "Gwen, will you join me on the dance floor?" "I'd rather eat Tim's cooking." "Not a request." Scully steered me to the dance floor, taking my hand as we swayed with the music. "What do you see?" "A bunch of people staring." "Gwen, look past all that. What do you see?" Looking around, I noted the different princes and princesses mingling with the upper class. A bunch of rich people talking to each other. They are feeling out the room. "Good. Does anyone look nervous?" "All of them do." Again, good. Finally, he steered me off the dance floor and back to the Death Watch, who were now all standing together. "The room's atmosphere has changed," the captain said to Scully. "Yes, something is about to happen. Any luck in gathering information?" "People tend to stop talking when Space Marines show up." "Gwen, walk around. See if you can hear anything." I parted from the group, blending in more with the crowd while listening to their conversation. Scully was talking to the Death Watch, who handed him a data pad while watching the room. My curiosity would have piqued had I not stopped at a conversation I heard. "Yes, I heard it's happening tonight. He's really going to propose. I thought she rejected him. Too prude." "He's only a prude because she has to have sex every few hours. She's insatiable, that girl." Placing the untouched flute of champagne back on the tray, I moved back to Scully's side. Gwen, do you have information? Not the blood cult. However, this princess seems to like excess sexual activities. Damn, I thought we had them. They could be here. However, when that princess comes out, I highly doubt she'll alone. The Death Watch disappeared, going to get their power armor back on. Can't believe this isn't the blood cult, Scully said, pulling out his datapad. I made careful comparison. Went over everything. You were right. There is a cult of sorts here, just not the one you've been looking for. This doesn't make any sense. All the signs, all the clues, all lead here. Let me see. Scully, surprisingly, handed it over and I looked over anything. Ah, here's your mistake. This isn't Korn's sigil. It is if you turn the photo upside down. Upside down? You seriously went off that. I'm getting desperate. You're an inquisitor. You don't act without purpose. You really went off this only? Are you off your game? I have another case I'm working on besides the blood cult. As I continued to look all the data he compiled, I noticed a tab with my previous commander's name on it. As I went to click on the tab, Scully yanked away the tab. Why? Not now. You need to prepare to fight. Fight? I couldn't hide my pistol in this dress. All I have is a knife. Scully pulled out a pistol from his hip and handed it to me. There, now you're armed. When the doors open, it was then that the loud music was heard, signaling the arrival of the guest of honor. Scully swore as we tried to get to the front of the crowd. Then the door opened. Suddenly we were salmon rushing upstream. The screams of the people were matched by the roars of the demonettes that were running out the door. It was a small number, meaning that there was no breach in real space to the warp, but the number was still large in comparison to the number of civilians in the room. I pulled the trigger of my pistol as we got closer to the front, taking a demonette down. My single pistol versus Scully's bolter fire was not as impressive, but I managed to keep the front line back as the citizens ran around like chickens at feeding time. My pistol was kicked out of my hand by a demonette. It snarled at me as I turned to look at it. I dodged its attacks, trying to make my way over to my pistol, but the demonette's got a swipe on me, cutting open the back of my dress. I fell to the floor from the force of the blow, looking back as the demonette attacked me once more. And on instinct, I lifted my leg and drove the butt of my heel into the demonette's head. Once the demonettes had been dealt with, and the princess was killed by Scully himself, Scully helped me up and helped me across the now destroyed room as the Death Watch came back in after taking care of any demons who made it to the gardens outside. Gwen, I see you found a use for that heel. Indeed I did. Thank you for coming to this tale of St. Gwen. If you liked it, please give it a like, comment down below, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.